All right, traders, this has been my most successful trading day of 2023 so far. I ended up making 12 trades in total. 9 were wins. 6 of those wins were in a row, and I ended up making a 15K profit. In terms of all the percentage returns combined, it was over a 200% profit return. With that being said, I'm going to show you how to trade the best setups at the best prices. What if I told you it was possible to know the exact top of the SPY so you can short the SPY and play puts for the reversal when they're at the lows right before it crashes? You would probably say, oh, that's a scam. Oh, that's not possible. Well, guess what? I am proving it every single week that I have a strategy that nobody else has, and that is the gap close reversal strategy. Take a look at one of the most successful members within Trader Society, Dimitri. He just texted me that he had his most successful green day ever, making a $27,000 profit. This is the TD Ameritrade mobile app. The beauty of this app is it has the previous closing price highlighted on a black line automatically added on the charts, which is something that Thinkorswim does not have, and you have to manually add it, which is a custom code that an engineer has created. Now, with that being said, we ended up trading the plan, man. Look at this plan that I ended up posting. So in terms of the best setup at the best price in my key levels, this was the one trade idea. And this one trade idea was the same trade idea as yesterday that got you in to short the SPY at the exact top to buy the puts at the lows. Take a look. This is in the pre-market at 8:47 a.m. SPY has gapped down. There's a gap to fill above at $400.20. This is the new best setup at the best price for put options. No confirmation is needed. My confirmation is, just like yesterday, SPY already had a massive gap down. If it's going to instantly pump back up and have an overreaction to fill the gap and hit this white line, which is the exact top, to fill the gap and hit this white line, which is the exact top like yesterday, then I'm going to play puts at the top end of the channel for resistance. Forget the confirmation. It's already confirmed bearish. Now, here's what my analysis had to say. That's the best level for puts, no confirmation needed. $396 is support. If it were to crack, we would be on track to drop in between 392 to 394. It ended up going slightly under 394. Even though this is super bearish, the most likely outcome is something like yesterday, where SPY hits key support, whether that's 396, whether that's in between 392 to 394, then rockets back up to fill the gap above, just like it did yesterday. I have no interest in buying puts till we hit $400.20, which is where the gap is waiting to fill above. There is no other best setups, and I won't be streaming till then. I ended up streaming that trade live where I bought puts, and I made a 30% profit return. I bought the puts right here on this green candle. I made a 30% return in 5 single minutes. Imagine putting $2,000 into a 0-day expiration, and then you make $600 back in 5 minutes, and then boom, you're done. You call it for the day. You made back more than the cost of the lifetime membership, man. This was all strategically planned beforehand. Take a look at what I had to say before today. This was yesterday night. Look at what I had to say yesterday night. The gap close reversal strategy has worked 3 days in a row. I'm going to put you on. Go back and watch my previous videos. You'll get a more in-depth analysis, but look at this. The gap close reversal strategy has worked 3 days in a row. The exact bottom for calls and the exact top for puts yesterday. What am I talking about? I'm talking about when SPY is gapping up and then it hits that previous closing price and forms a floor for a reversal, you're buying at the exact low. Take a look. SPY gaps up. It forms a floor. It forms bullish wicks. It's forming support. It breaks above this resistance. It's having a gap close reversal. The bulls are going to run this up. Look what happens the next day. SPY gaps up. It does the same thing. It forms a floor. It's starting to break out. It has a gap close reversal, and it continues to run. And you can use the strategy both ways with the options. You can short the SPY at the top using put options. Take a look. SPY gaps down just like it did today at practically the same level. It rockets back up to fill the gap. Once the gap fills and it hits the previous closing price, you got the bearish wicks. It sells off. It has a reversal. Right here, SPY gaps down. It fills the gap right here. Once it fills the gap, it has a reversal and it drops. These small $1 drops are 30 to 50% wins on the same day expirations. Those are insane results. Who is displaying a strategy that gets you in at the exact top to short and the exact bottom to buy? And you can use that strategy with options. You can use it on SPY. You can use it on stocks. Who is doing it? It's not another channel. It's not the people on Twitter. It's not the people on CNBC. This is trader society. There is nobody in the game teaching you the best strategy at the best prices. There is nothing better than this, man. And one of the ways in terms of how I got lucky discovering this strategy was actually using TD Ameritrade as my first broker. Because in terms of the TD Ameritrade mobile app, if you download the mobile app, not Thinkorswim, you will see there's a black line on that mobile app. And that black line represents the previous closing price. And then I started to notice stocks began to have reversals at this previous closing price. Then I began to notice by looking at the charts, not reading books, not following other traders, once stocks started to fill their gaps, they began to have reversals. Then I started to analyze, okay, how can I determine if it's going to be a gap close reversal? What confirmations can I use? What should I focus on? I should focus on puts at the top end of the channel. Take a look at the daily chart. If SPY is gapping down towards the top end of the channel with major resistance and it rockets straight back up to fill the gap for an overreaction to the upside, once it closes the gap, I'm playing puts. I don't need no more confirmation than that. It's at the top of the resistance. It had an overreaction to the downside. Bears got crushed. Puts got wrecked. So when would it make sense for the puts to print? This is the key. Write this down. This one little tweak that I do where I don't even use a confirmation is going to get you in at an insane entries, man. I always value entries over confirmations with this type of strategy. Now, it's very rare that I do this, but this time I ended up doing it. Take a look at this, man. Right here, this is what I had to say at 1:13 p.m. My plan is the second SPY goes above $400, it'll instantly drop back under $400. So if SPY goes under $400, right, and there's a gap to fill at $400.20. That means that the puts are out of the money because SPY is above the $400 strike, meaning puts are getting wrecked. The in the money $400 puts just went out of the money, they're getting wrecked, right? So this is the key. It should instantly drop back under $400, bringing the $400 puts that went out of the money because SPY is above the $400 strike to back in the money. I'll be buying the puts out of the money when it spikes above $400.20. That's the move. And then you start to sell them when they go in the money. So what I'm telling you is this is the trick. You look at the $400 strike and the gap's at $400.20 and you tell yourself, as soon as this goes above $400 and hits the $400.20 gap, you buy the puts out of the money. What they're going to try to do is they're going to try to bring those puts straight back to in the money. And you bought them out of the money, so you're already banking on this small little drop and you got it at the peak. That's the trick, to not buy the puts when they're in the money and when it's already crashing, but to buy them when they're out of the money. That one little tweak that I use in my strategy is able to get me in at an unreal entry, at an entry so amazing where it just flashes so quickly. You just got to get in as soon as it hits that gap, man. That's the strategy. That's the game. What I want you to do is I want you to focus on two things. I want you to focus on stocks that are towards the top of their channels. It could be a weekly resistance channel. It could be a daily channel. It has to be a major proven resistance, right? Once they hit the top of the channel, what I want you to do is I want you to wait for them to gap down. When they hit the top of the channel and they're gapping down, or if SPY has a gap to fill above at the daily on that channel, then you're going to want to play puts when it spikes back up to fill the gap. I was telling people, if you swing traded puts or if you wanted to play puts, don't do it, because this is what you need to understand. The people who ended up swing trading puts were the ones who banked. When SPY gaps down massively, the people swing trading, the smart ones, they sell the open. They get out and they sell because SPY can reverse and fill the gap. And there's no way to 100% know if the gap is going to fill the same day. So you just get out and you take your profits if you ended up swing trading puts. And since it already gapped down, you don't go playing puts because they already printed massively and they're high and they're expensive and there's a gap to fill above and that gap could fill. Plus, in terms of history repeating itself, there was several confirmations on the 30-minute chart that history was going to repeat itself. That's why I continue to play calls on dips in the morning, and I banked on those. Look at this, man. It's an exact repeat of yesterday. There's this saying that goes, pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. If you are in puts and it gaps down, you are now a hog if you don't take profits. You will get slaughtered, right? And if you play puts after it gaps down massively, then you have no shot. You are destroyed, man. This is why I told people to wait for $400.20, right? Now, I entered several price action trades today. So I have these other strategies that are not the best setups at the best prices, that are not the easiest way to trade, that are not the no-brainer setups, but it works for me. And I do very, very well trading those strategies. I don't recommend them for small accounts. I only recommend them for those people who are already successful with the gap close reversal strategy and who can already live off of trading. If they're already successful and they want to experiment with just trading price action, just trading patterns, not the best setups at the best prices, and they want to experiment and take smaller sizes, then fine. I'm trading with over 6 figures, and I'm taking small 10K position sizes, entering multiple scalps, 30, 40, 50%. It adds up very, very quickly. And if I get stopped out, I lose 20%. Like I said, I had 12 trades. 9 were losses, 9 were wins, 3 were losses. The percentage return added up to 200%. I'm sizing in 10K per trade on those. That's 20K in a sense. Obviously, if I'm on a hot win streak, once I have my first loss, then I start to scale back down in size because I don't want to risk giving back in profit. That's how it works. After I had my 6th win in a row, I had 1 loss, then I started scaling back down size just to ensure that I don't give back profit. But that's the game, man. I'm not taking massive risk on these 0 dates. I'm literally using 5% of my account to trade them, and I'm making 5 figures on a good day like this, right? So that's the strategy. That's what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on daily resistance. I want you to focus on top end of the channels. I want you to focus on when stocks are gapping down at the high end of the channels, then you play puts, right? I can give you another practical example right here. So in terms of Alibaba, it was at key resistance on the daily chart. It had a gap down. Once it filled the gap, it reacted bearish, and there was plenty of gap close reversals. Now there's a higher one, right? So that, in a sense, is the basics to a strategy. Now, what I want you to understand is I've dedicated my entire life and my entire trading to this one simple strategy. And I've made it where it can be very complex. So complex where I can literally say, I believe that this gap is an automatic entry, meaning as soon as it hits the gap, I just get in because I want to get in when those puts or when those calls are out of the money and then they instantly flash back in the money, right? $400 is also a nice keyhole round attractive number to be shorting. I literally called this to a team and take a look at the analysis that I had posted last night. This was last night's analysis that I posted before the market opened as well. This was last night. So the gap close reversal strategy worked 3 days in a row. SPY is gapping down and on track to open up lower than the previous closing price, meaning there's going to be a gap to fill above at $400.20. If it tested $400.20, that gap could be the 4th time the strategy works. So the 4th time the strategy works in a row, which it did. And I also just posted my 420th video on my YouTube channel, right? That was yesterday. And the amount of, synchronicity that's being displayed at this 4 number, $400.20, nice key 4 number, 420th YouTube video, $400.20 gap, 4th time the strategy working in a row. It is telling me to go heavy on puts when the gap fills. This was the exact top. Like I told you, man, it is truly a blessing. Just think about how lucky you are and think about ahead of you are in terms of the masses and retail traders just by following this channel alone. There is no other strategy that is going to get you in at the exact top for reversal and the exact bottom for calls. That is why I truly love this strategy, because it's a trend reversal strategy. And not only is it a trend reversal strategy, it is a trend reversal strategy that can set the trend for the rest of the day at that level. What do I mean by that? Well, when SPY gaps down, it fills the gap and reacts as a resistance. Vast majority of the day, it continued to react as a resistance, multiple opportunities for puts. Vast majority of the day, it continued to react as a resistance, multiple opportunities for puts. Look at this put opportunity right here. This is the best confirmation right here. This one confirmation, this information I'm sharing with you right here. What's the best confirmation, Will, for a stock to have a reversal? When it hits the gap at the top end of a channel or at the key gap on the daily chart, right? And it forms a gravestone doji. This right here is the most bearish confirmation. If you see this at the previous closing price and SPY gap down, it's at resistance and it's towards the high end of the channel, whether it's a weekly channel or a daily channel, you play the puts. Look at the confirmation. It works. As soon as this gravestone doji formed towards the gap, SPY went lower. As soon as this gravestone doji formed the gap, SPY went lower. As soon as this bullish dragonfly doji formed towards the gap, SPY went higher. If you see this bullish doji at support, most bullish confirmation for a trend reversal. If you see this bearish doji at resistance, most bearish confirmation for a trend reversal. You can use that on the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 30 minute. You can use that on any time frame you want, man. In terms of the gaps, it's mainly the 1 minute chart. In terms of all the price action trades, man, I've did so much today. it was unreal on how well this worked out, man. We had people bearish in the chat who were being arrogant and not locking in their profits from their swings. I was literally telling them, take your profits. History can repeat itself. We're already beginning to see confirmation. It's going to try to fill the gap. And I just kept focusing on calls on dips because I knew it was oversold and I knew puts were expensive and I knew it was on track to start to fill the gap, right? It's just common sense. Puts already banked. Why would they continue to bank in that sense, right? All the greedy hogs are going to get slaughtered in this market. The people not trading the gap close reversal strategies, not aware of the previous closing price and betting against them, who are buying calls at the top and who are buying puts at the bottom of the gaps, will get absolutely destroyed. You tell me. I introduced you the strategy. So what are you going to do? Are you going to use it or are you going to inverse it? Are you going to buy calls at the peak, towards the rip, towards the breakout strategy? And then are you going to do the opposite? And then are you going to buy the puts on the dip right before it reverses when it fills the gap below? You tell me, what are you going to do? You have three options. You can use the strategy. You can bet against the strategy, which is not the wise thing to do because you're literally betting against the worst thing to bet against possible, or you can just not use it at all. You tell me what strategy you want to use. There is nobody else using a strategy that is a trend reversal that gets you in at the exact top and the exact bottom. And I can say that because I prove it to you every single week. It's not a scam. It works and it's proven. Watch my last 5 videos if you don't think this works. It works. I streamed this trade live, made 30% on spot, and I told them to get in before I got in. I prepared them 2 days in advance. We had traders in the chat who bought puts right here because it filled the gap in this closing price of this candle close red. It went green to red. It's forming wicks. It's bearish. They got in before me. It's all premeditated trading. The best trades I make are the premeditated ones, the gap close reversal strategies that are prepared in advance. So this goes to show you, man, all these lessons that I just taught you are going to save you a fortune. Now, with that being said, if you do want to be a part of Trader Society, it's the first link down below in the description. Once you join, you get lifetime access. It is a one-time fee, and you get access to everything. I already have several members who joined this week who've made 3 times the cost of what I charge for a lifetime. I have several people tell me to raise the price, make it double, make it triple. You should raise this. It's much more valuable than what you're charging it for. Like I said, man, this is the lowest the price is ever going to be, and now is the best time to join. If you want to get started in self-sufficiency and learning how to trade the best setups on your own and surrounding yourself with a community who is dedicated to trading this one simple gap trading strategy, we have a guy who just joined the program. He made his own gap scanner. He's a scanner that's alerting when gaps are filling. He made it on his own. We have 2 engineers in the program. Dimitri, he's a doctor in a sense. You know, he's an eye occupation, right? He does contact lenses, glasses, all that stuff. He's now crushing it on options, making tens of thousands of dollars every single week. Anybody can do this, man, and we have a very good network. If you want to surround yourself with the right team, with the right mindset, with the right analysis, because this is what we put out. We put out sell puts at open, do not be greedy, and then we focused on calls on dips, and then we played puts at the exact peak, just like we did yesterday, puts at the exact peak. We're not degenerates. We're not gambling. We're not playing puts when it gaps down massively, right? That's where you sell puts. Don't be a hog. Hogs get slaughtered. You want to buy puts? Wait for it to rip back up to fill the gap. But what if it doesn't fill the gap? What if it keeps going lower? That's called fear of missing out, my friend. Gaps tend to fill over time. Wait to trade the best setups at the best prices. If you want to buy something, buy calls low. Don't go chasing puts at the low with a gap to fill above. I'm putting you onto this game, man. We are going to have the most competent trading group within the retail market. Nobody's going to be like us, man. You're going to see doctors, engineers, they are going to rise up with this program, especially the super smart people, man. They're going to start creating their own strategies. There's going to be AI technology within years. They're going to have AIs automating all this stuff because they can literally, they'll realize, man, a robot can do this better than me, and I don't even need to be here to do this. It's so simple. Like, with that being said, man, if you want to trade the best setups, the best prices, and if you want to learn how to trade price action and master this, you get access to the chat room, the live trading streams that we do, the recordings of those live streams. You can go back and watch the footage. I ended up live streaming today, puts at the exact top, 30%. You get access to the real-time analysis, the watch list, the trade ideas, the confirmations, the real-time trade alerts. As always, I alerted the best trades at the best setups right here in Will Alerts. I alerted my puts right here, SPY 400 puts, sold for a 30% win. And then within the SPY floor, this is the pit. This is the money-making floor, man. This is where people are alerting all their trades. So in terms of my trading, I don't just trade the best setups at the best prices. The best setups at the best prices are in the key levels. And then I post my trades if it's the best setup at the best price in the will alerts. If I'm not trading the best setup at the best price and it's just price action, for those who want to see what it is that I'm doing and get a better understanding of other strategies and price action, that's where I alert in the SPY floor. We live stream, we have polls. Look at the polls, man. People are crushing it. Look at this. Were you green or red on the day? 28 people were red, 28 people were green, only 4 were red. And if they were red, they did not follow the key level, because the key level told them buy puts as soon as it hits $400.20. It worked multiple times today, right? It worked. If they were red, they didn't do it. It's just as simple as that. Not everybody's going to win. In terms of yesterday, 19 green, 6 were red, 8 didn't trade. The strategy worked. I literally told them yesterday, look right here. The best price for puts is at $400.62. There's a gap to fill above. Key levels are the best setups to the best prices. Anything that I do in SPY floor is a price action trade that is not the best setup at the best price. It is a simple price action pattern. That is something that I do not recommend anybody else to be doing unless you are already successful and you see what it is that I'm seeing. Never blindly follow anybody's trade. You must be competent enough to understand the trade. If you're not competent enough to understand the trade, then you must not take that trade. All of the education is disclosed within the video lesson library. There's over 100 hours of content. With that being said, if you want to join the program, it's the first link down below description. In terms of my analysis for tomorrow, the GDP, the numbers are coming out at 8:30 a.m. A massive move is going to happen. As you know, I don't swing for the fences and gamble. It can go up, it can go down. I don't fucking care. What I care about is when that overreaction happens, somebody's going to get screwed. And what I do is I wait for someone to get screwed. For example, puts printed. Calls got screwed. Okay, calls got screwed. Time to buy calls and play for the gaps fill above. It's not as simple as that, but that's the sense of the mentality. And there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it, right? Oh, puts just printed like crazy. It filled the gap. Time to play puts. Puts just got wrecked, right? I wait for people to get screwed and then I take advantage of their reversals. You tell me, man, this is the beauty of staying to these videos, right? If SPY had a massive gap down and you were to swing trade puts, would you look to play smart and take profits? Or would you just continue to blindly hold? No stop loss, just continue to hold. Oh, it's reversing. Oh, it's going above 396. Oh, it's holding. Oh, it's forming higher support. Oh, it's breaking out. Let me just keep holding puts, keep holding puts, keep holding puts. Or do you just want to sell when it opens stress-free, wait for the gap to fill above, play puts again at the exact peak? What do you want to do, man? We're playing the easy money, man. We're entering the trades that are so stupid easy that people are laughing at these trades. This is going to be in the history books, man. People are going to be looking at this. They're going to be laughing on how easy this is. They're going to be laughing. They're going to be like, oh, it had another gap close reversal. That strategy's so easy, man. That's so easy. Why don't you enter a real trade? I'm like, bro, this is making people wealthy, bro. We're creating wealth with this strategy. I have a guy who's up $27,000 in a single day using strategies like this. Are you trying to create wealth the easy way or the hard way? I'm not trying to be greedy and buy puts when it gaps down. Think about it, man. It's common sense. SPY had a massive gap down. Puts banked for those who swing trade. They did not bank for those who day traded, unless you played the rips and got in, got out super quickly. But the point is, puts already banked as it gapped down. Sell the puts. Find opportunities for calls. Not the best setup at the best prices, but as you can see, history repeated itself and the mentality worked. The most likely outcome was it was going to reverse, rocket back up to fill the gap. Oh, SPY filled the gap. Does it make sense to buy calls at the exact peak when this was just at 394? No, this is an absolute gift to take advantage of the people who swing traded puts, man. It's buy low, sell high. Think about it like this, man. If I bought calls, think about it like this. If you bought the SPY and you swing traded calls right here, and you did not sell, you're a bag holder. Where would a person who's smart, who is holding the bag, who's just going to hold, where would he sell? He would sell at break even. If SPY instantly shot back up, all the bag holders who are smart would get out at their initial entry. Why would they do that? Because it already dropped massively. They got the worst entry possible. They would get out right here, and then they would look to buy back towards the lows. That's what they would do if they were smart, and it's more than that. But in a sense, that's the type of mentality that I have in a sense, right? It's all type of mentality. So with that being said, man, if you want to join Trader Society and learn how to trade the best setups, the best prices, it is the first link down below. I'm going to be releasing my plan within the group tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. once the big move occurs. We wait for the big move to occur. We wait for the overreaction to occur. Then we choose to trade the best setups at the best prices. In terms of right now, I cannot tell you much, man. A big move is going to come out. News is going to come out. It's going to do something crazy. And then once that crazy move happens, I will know what levels to focus on. In terms of one key level to focus on, of course, as always, the previous closing price, we're at the top of major resistance, $400.35 is going to be the best level. So if SPY has a massive gap down tomorrow or a massive gap up tomorrow, $400.35 for a reversal. If it has a massive gap down, wait for it to shoot back up, $400.35. If it has a massive gap up and it pumps back down, $400.35 for calls, $400.35 for puts if it gaps down. If this previous closing price ever reacts against you and reacts as a resistance level, then it's bearish and you must get out and look to play puts if you want. If it reacts to support, reacts bullish, then it's bullish. You must get out and you must look to play calls if you would like. Just understand we are towards the top end of the channel, and when this happened yesterday, SPY sold off massively, right? So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the new gap to form. Stress-free trading. I wait for people to get wrecked. When they get wrecked, I wait for all the bag holders to get out right here, and then boom, we dump this right back down. It's easy money, man. With that being said, Trader Society is going to be the first link down below in the description.